Hello, my name is Xia Cao. Today I want to talk to you about 8 reasons going to hell will be awesome. Really? On YouTube, there is a rather vocal atheist who calls himself Friendly Atheist. His real name is Herman Mehta. From a Christian point of view, he is hardly friendly at all. In fact, he is very vicious, ruthlessly attacking Christianity. Simply looking at what he has done. He has countless videos on slandering the Bible, which has long been recognized as the Word of God or the revelation of God for centuries. His tactic is very simple, criticizing the Bible out of context. Like a Chinese saying, trying to pick bones out of an egg. It is a form of nitpicking. Because of his prejudice, he is like wearing a pair of colored glasses. Therefore, everything he sees is tainted. And yet, he is very determined to attack Christianity, misleading people to prevent them to know the truth and hoping to sway the weak Christians to leave their faith. Later, I will make some videos to show you what I mean and how ignorant he is. He is such a rich target that I can find so many subjects to make videos to debunk him. Today I want to show you how foolish he is by making the video called 8 Reasons Going to Hell Will Be Awesome. Typically, even atheists avoid talking about the subject of going to hell. Just about everyone knows that hell is a lousy place to be. Why even bother to risk yourself if there is really a chance that hell exists? He then goes on by stating his 8 reasons. First, he says he will get to be his friends in hell. He likes to be with his friends doing the wicked things and get some pleasures together. Then he rambled to spit out the rest of the 7 reasons. I'm not going to waste your time repeating them here. Once I explain to you how wrong he is about the first reason, as you will see, the rest will become irrelevant. As I watched his video, I couldn't help but laugh because he got them completely wrong. No one wants to go to hell if he knows what he is getting into. Back when Jesus was on this earth, he told a story about a rich man and a beggar who lived very different lives, but when they died, the rich man went to hell to suffer even though he had a great life on the earth. And the beggar, on the contrary, went to heaven and rested in the bosom of their ancestor Abraham. The rich man suffered a great deal, and he pleaded with Abraham to let the beggar dip the tip of his finger with water to cool his tongue because he was so thirsty and miserable. He also begged Abraham to let the beggar go back to life to tell his family not to come to hell to suffer. If hell were a nice place, nothing of this kind of thing would happen. Mr. Mehta thinks that when he goes to hell, he can continue enjoying the pleasure of sin with his friends. In the Bible, Proverbs 9:17 says it very vividly. Stolen water is sweet, food eaten in secret is delicious. You indeed often find some pleasure when you do bad things, but those are the fleeting pleasure of sin. And yet, by the time you end up in hell, that will be a payback time. He thinks even the circumstance in hell is miserable, but at least friends can get together, it will be worth it. However, he's mistaken. He thinks when he goes to hell, he would have limited freedom like criminals when they serve their time in penitentiary. They can have a situation such as eating with other inmates, going to sports field to have some relaxation time, as we have seen in some of the movies about prisons. And yet, he doesn't realize, even in the prisons in this world, if you are a serious and a die-hard criminal, like those inmates who are waiting to be executed, they are typically under solitary confinement. Those inmates are locked up all by themselves with no chance to interact with other human beings. You see, hell is not a place. It is your soul's eternal condition, where all sinners according to God's standard. I have 3 videos showing people's problem. We are all destined to go to hell, just like Mr. Mehta said. According to the Bible, when we sinned, we will be separate from God, who gives us life. That is exactly why atheists, such as Mr. Mehta, have no sense of God, because they are separated from God. But the sin consequence is even worse. Not only we are separated from God, we will be separated from all other souls in the state of eternally solitary confinement. Therefore, don't expect when you will suffer, but you will be with your friends. No such thing will happen. Mr. Mehta thinks he will be with his friends is his foolish, ignorant, wishful thinking. There are many levels of suffering. The least one is the physical sufferings, such as experiencing hunger, getting physically abused. The second level is emotional suffering, such as being falsely accused, being wronged, slandered, verbally abused. We have seldom seen examples of people committing suicide when they experiencing physical suffering. But we do sometimes see people who cannot overcome emotional suffering commit suicide. But the most difficult suffering is the spiritual suffering, which is loneliness, such as under solitary confinement. If someone stolen something and he get a sentence of 3 months, he will undergo suffering for sure, but after 3 months, he knows he will be free. If someone receives a 3-year sentence, it will be worse, but yet in 3 years, he will be free. It is bad, but he has hope. However, if someone needs to serve a life sentence without parole, he is hopeless. Yet the reality of hell is worse, that you will be under solitary confinement forever. In other words, your loneliness will never end. Can you imagine how painful it will be? I have had chances to share the gospel in prisons in Taiwan. The warden told me if I want to talk to the death row inmates, the most you can do is to talk to 1 or 2. You cannot hold a big class because they have been in solitary confinement for too long. Once they see other inmates, they will be frantically speaking to each other instead of listening to you. When I talk in a big class, all the inmates were very well behaved. In the old days, the prison guards would beat them to submission. But now, because of humane reasons, corporal punishment is not allowed. So when someone is misbehaving, what do? They just put the person in a dark room under solitary confinement for 2 weeks. What is amazing is that when they come out, all will behave because no one wants to go through that painful experience again. You see, we are group animals. Sometimes we like to be alone, but not for a long time because we need to interact with others. Just like Mr. Mehta said, he desires to be with his friends. And yet, because of his ignorance, he completely got it wrong. The true condition of hell is you will be under eternal solitary confinement and you will be lonely forever, which is hopeless compared with physical, even emotional sufferings. In the Bible, the writers use hellfire or thirst to describe the unbearable suffering of loneliness. Today, you can see many successful people who had fame and fortune, even receive Oscars, and yet couldn't overcome loneliness to commit suicide. When you understand the real condition of hell, would you have the same mind to want to go to hell? You see, Mr. Mehta got it all wrong. Therefore, none of his 8 reasons is a valid reason to go to hell. He posts those reasons are nothing but showing his ignorance. If someone posts a video called 8 Reasons Going to Prison Will Be Awesome, you immediately know he is a lunatic. Now you know that hell is like. It will be millions of times worse than going to prison. The video of Mr. Meta, in fact, tells you that he is nothing but an ignorant lunatic. I really have trouble understanding why people want to listen to him. Now you have heard two descriptions of hell. You can judge to see which one is more likely. Those two descriptions cannot all be right. It is so important that you need to spend time investigating which one is correct. Listen to me. Don't go. Otherwise, by the time you get to hell, it will be too late. I have a playlist showing the existence of God that is understandable. First, atheism is unrealistic. Second, the death knell of evolution. Third one is use your brain to know God exists. Fourth, the death knell of atheism. Fifth one, I give several scientific evidence of the existence of God. If you watch them, you will know God must exist and atheism is wrong. Also, another playlist about the Bible. First one, why is Bible the Bible? Why do people believe Bible is the revelation of God? Second, some amazing example in the Bible. From those examples, you will know God not only exists, but also amazingly so. Third one, what is the source of wisdom? We will examine history to see the Bible actually gives us wisdom. If you watch them, you will know how remarkable the Bible is and why the Bible is the best-selling book in history. Last but not least, why are people sinners? What is the consequence of sinners? And then what is the gospel? This playlist explains how can we escape hell. All the links are provided below in the description areas. In my channel, there are more videos you might find interesting. If you have any questions, comments, even criticism, please feel free to contact me. My email address is belcantog@gmail.com. Thank you for watching and may God richly bless you.